Terry Bradshaw has a bourbon. That's right, one of the most iconic quarterbacks in the history of professional football, adding his name to the ring of celebrity whiskeys and spirits and bourbons. 14 seasons for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 4 Super Bowl wins. Got a lot of questions about this one, so do I. Welcome back to What's on the Shelf Wednesday on the Mash and Drum. I am Jason C, and in this series, I bring you quick reviews of whiskeys that you can actually find on the shelf, including bourbons, rye, scotches, Irish whiskeys, and more. So what's on the shelf today? Bradshaw Straight Bourbon, a bourbon that I got a lot of requests to try and to talk about because I've been seeing this thing everywhere. Terry Bradshaw is an American football legend and also a staple in living rooms across the country every Sunday on Fox. The Football Hall of Famer played 14 seasons with Pittsburgh, won 4 Super Bowl titles in a 6-year period in 1974, 75, 78, and 79, becoming the first quarterback to win 3 and 4 Super Bowls, and led the Steelers to 8 AFC Central championships. Now, Bradshaw Bourbon is a collaboration between Bradshaw and Silver Screen Bottling Company, which is known for bottling several celebrity liquors, including James T. Kirk's bourbon that he has himself. The bourbon is distilled by Green River Distilling, the distillery behind brands like Old Medley, Medley Brothers, and they also help Heaven Hill with distilling Mellow Corn and their new release, Five Brothers. So the bourbon in this bottle, all right, 2 years old. We got a 2-year-old bourbon here. Mash bill for this bourbon, you're looking at 70% corn, 21% rye, 9% malted barley, a nice high rye mash bill. It's bottled at 103.8 proof or an ABV of 51.9%, which is Terry Bradshaw's career passing completion percentage. Kind of cool. It's available across the country and online. Been seeing this thing everywhere for about 40 bucks. So let's try it. You leave this right here. And guys, while you're here, give the channel a subscribe, give this video a like. Also, leave a comment below and let me know what you would like to see next on What's on the Shelf Wednesday. I think the next couple of episodes are going to focus on a couple more Irish whiskeys, some scotches, and also some rye whiskeys. So, might take a break from the bourbon a little bit and see what else is out there on the shelf. So, let's go for the nose. Yeah, you could smell the youth on this a little bit. It's a little bit young on the nose. Very, very corn sweet forward. Yeah, I mean, if you've ever been on a distillery tour and you walk in the mashing room, the mash tun, or even the fermentation room, and you just smell that sweet mash, you know, that sweet corn that's in the air, it's basically what it smells like in the glass. It's also pretty yeasty. You kind of get like this baked bread type note going on. You got some nice, you know, little vanilla, little caramel. So this is actually batch 2. I didn't get a chance to try batch 1, so this is batch 2. Yeah, very light oak. It smells like a young bourbon. I will say there's nothing gross or off-putting about it. Sometimes you hear 2 years old and you think, I'm not touching that thing, but it's not terrible on the nose. But all right, the real test, the palate. Here we go. Super sweet on the palate, a lot of vanilla. Very light vanilla, very light caramel. It's got, I mean, that high rye mash bill comes through. It's got a bite to it. But I'm trying to tell if it's like a proofy bite or if it's, you know, a youthful like alcohol, ethanol like bite that it has to it. Go another sip. Yeah, I think it's more alcohol bite. I mean, it really lingers on. Like I said, it's very peppery, very corn, very sweet, corn sweetness, like cornflakes. It's like eating a bowl of cornflakes with like black pepper all over it. That's what That's what it feels like. There might be like a slight like hint of fruit in there. Maybe it's like a cherry or even an apple that you get in there too. There's a very light, you know, fruit note to it. A little bit of cinnamon punch too. It's actually, you know, it's not terrible. Yeah, there's no, it's not like a nice lingering finish where you kind of let the flavors kind of linger on. It's more of a, like a burning finish. I don't know. Yeah, the more you sip this, I think a little bit more caramel comes out. I'm getting more of the apple now. I think it's more of a caramel apple I'm getting here. A very like a Granny Smith, like a light green apple. You know, the flavors are kind of balanced. The only thing is, yeah, that youthfulness that it has is not, it doesn't hide. I mean, you could taste how young it is. It's very, very corn forward, very sweet, very grainy. You know, and then I think probably the most off-putting part of it is the burn. I mean, I love a good finish on a bourbon or whiskey, but I like it in the form of flavor and something that lingers on and you get more flavors as you go. This is just kind of more like a straight up, you know, burning. So, all right, so front of the palate, a lot of corn sweetness. Like I said, you get that corn flakes, a lot of black pepper and spice in the front of the palate. As soon as it moves back, you start getting into the, you know, lighter caramels, you know, definitely some oak spice and like young, like oak tannin. I would say it's a little bit prickly. And then as it works its way back, you get all that 21% rye spice in there that really just lingers on. Very, very black peppery. It's almost bitter in a little bit of a way, which again is I think the thing that's showing its youth off a little bit. But, you know, I don't know. Overall, so this is a $40 bottle. 2-year-old bourbon. So I think as much as I love Terry Bradshaw, I think this bottle shows its youth a little too much, and it begs the question, why a 2-year-old bourbon? I think, you know, new distilleries that wait until their bourbon hits the 4-year mark makes it a lot more palatable. I mean, those 2 years can do a lot. For 40 bucks, I can see Steelers fans everywhere adding it to their shelves because, you know, Terry Bradshaw is a pretty iconic figure in the Steelers fan circle. However, for bourbon enthusiasts, you know, knowing what's available on the shelf for $40, I think we'll have a hard time pulling the trigger on this. $40 for bourbon, especially when you have Wild Turkey 101, Evan Williams 1783, Early Times Bottle and Bond, Old Grandad, even regular Remus bourbon, which is a nice high rye mash bill, for around the same price. That's older. You're talking about, you know, 5-6 years old, you know, bourbon in that as well. My advice is to get this at, you know, to 4 years old. If you get it to 4 years old, keep it at that same price point. I think you may have something that can compete with some of the other distilleries out there, especially with the Terry Bradshaw name on it. But right now, like I said, it's kind of a rookie. It needs a little bit more time on the bench before you bring it in the game here, guys. So that's my advice. But right now, for this one, I think at 40 bucks, there's too much good stuff that's 40 bucks and cheaper right now available on the shelf. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching this review for the Terry Bradshaw Bourbon. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Let me know if you've had this. Let me know if you've picked this up, what you think of it. I mean, yeah, 2 years old, a little bit too young for my taste, but I'm sure Steelers fans that love Terry Bradshaw have probably grabbed this one already. But again, if you have an idea for an upcoming What's on the Shelf Wednesday, please leave it below. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. So cheers, and I'll see you next time on the Mash and Drum. Hey, football season's almost here. So one of my favorite times of the year, baby. Fall, football, and pumpkin spice everything. Take care, everybody.